Every so often, a headline surfaces that seems designed to stop a scrolling thumb in its tracks. And this is one of them. Whispers of confrontation, a mother's fury, a princess caught in the middle. The kind of narrative that spreads across social media before anyone pauses to ask a simple question. Is any of this actually documented? Before diving into what has been reported and what remains firmly in the realm of speculation, it's worth understanding why stories like this take root so easily within the strange ecosystem of royal commentary. The British monarchy operates behind a curtain of formality, and it is precisely that opacity which invites outsiders to fill the silence with imagined drama. What follows is an attempt to separate verified public record from the noise that surrounds it, while still exploring the very real tensions that have shaped the modern royal family for decades. To understand why a headline invoking Carole Middleton, Camilla, and the family of the Prince and Princess of Wales would gain traction, you have to look at the long, layered history of how these three branches of influence have coexisted uneasily within the same institution. Carole Middleton is not a royal by birth. She built a business empire, party pieces, from her kitchen table, and through sheer determination raised a daughter who would eventually become the future Queen Consort of the United Kingdom. Her story has often been framed by biographers as one of quiet ambition colliding with an institution that historically prized bloodlines over merit. Katie Nicholl, a royal correspondent who has written extensively on the Cambridge family in books such as Kate, the Future Queen, has documented how Carole was, in the early years of Catherine's relationship with Prince William, viewed with a certain skepticism by parts of the aristocratic old guard, some of whom reportedly found her background and enthusiasm unfamiliar within palace circles. Camilla, Queen Consort, occupies an entirely different chapter of royal history, one defined by scandal, public rejection, and an eventual, remarkable rehabilitation. For years following her relationship with King Charles during his marriage to Diana, Princess of Wales, Camilla was one of the most publicly reviled figures in Britain. Books like Sally Bedell Smith's Prince Charles, The Passions and Paradoxes of an Improbable Life, chart in detail how she weathered tabloid vilification, public jeers, and a monarchy that took years to formally acknowledge her role. Her transformation from tabloid villain to accepted, even respected, senior royal is one of the more remarkable public relations arcs in modern British history, guided in large part by careful, incremental public appearances alongside Charles and the wider family over nearly 2 decades. Given these two very different backgrounds, one an outsider mother pushing her daughter into royal life, the other a former other woman now firmly entrenched at the heart of the institution, it is not surprising that tabloids and YouTube commentary channels frequently construct narratives of rivalry between them. But rivalry implied by public commentary is very different from a documented, factual clash. There is no verified public record, no formal statement from Kensington Palace or Clarence House, and no reputable biographer's account confirming any specific incident in which Camilla bullied any child within the family, nor any occasion in which Carole Middleton publicly shut down such behavior. These are dramatic framings, likely originating from speculative online content rather than documented events, and they should be treated as such. What has been reported, by contrast, offers a far more nuanced picture of how these women have navigated shared family life. Royal correspondents have noted subtle shifts in body language and seating arrangements during public events, such as Trooping the Color, the Order of the Garter Service, and Christmas Day walks to church at Sandringham. Angela Levin, who has written biographies touching on both Charles and William, has observed that public appearances involving multiple generations of the family often reveal quiet tensions through positioning and interaction, though she and other biographers are careful to distinguish observation from confirmed conflict. Photographs analyzed by tabloid outlets have occasionally been used to suggest frostiness, but photographic interpretation is inherently speculative, dependent on split-second expressions that rarely capture the full context of an interaction. As for the specific mention of Princess H, almost certainly referring to Princess Charlotte, the young daughter of William and Catherine, it's worth pause to consider how frequently the youngest royals are drawn into adult narratives they have no part in shaping. Charlotte, born in 2015, has grown up largely shielded from public scrutiny by her parents' deliberate media strategy, one explicitly designed to protect the Wales children from the kind of intense tabloid attention that so affected Prince William and Prince Harry during their own childhoods following their parents' divorce. Catherine has spoken publicly, including in interviews connected to her Shaping Us campaign on early childhood development, about the importance of protecting children's emotional well-being, a stance widely interpreted as informed by her own experiences navigating public life since becoming a royal in 2011. This protective instinct becomes especially relevant when considering Catherine's health journey in 2024, during which she underwent treatment following a cancer diagnosis, a period defined by an almost total withdrawal from public engagements to focus on her family. During this time, speculation about family dynamics reached a fever pitch across social media, much of it unfounded, some of it actively harmful, prompting Kensington Palace to issue rare public statements urging respect for the family's privacy. It was within this climate of heightened speculation that narratives involving Carole Middleton's protectiveness toward her daughter and grandchildren gained particular traction online, though again, specific claims of confrontations with other family members remain unverified by any credible journalistic source. Carole Middleton's role within the family has, however, been documented in more grounded terms. She has been described by multiple biographers, including Nicol, as an exceptionally hands-on grandmother, frequently seen collecting the Wales children from school and reportedly playing a significant role in their day-to-day routines, particularly during periods when Catherine and William's public duties intensified. This closeness has, at times, been the subject of public commentary, contrasting her involvement with a more formal, tradition-bound approach historically associated with the wider royal family. Such contrasts make for compelling narrative fodder, but a difference in parenting philosophy or family involvement is not equivalent to conflict, and conflating the two does a disservice to the complexity of real family relationships. It's also worth noting the broader historical pattern of tension between the family a royal spouse marries into and the family they were born into. Diana, Princess of Wales, famously experienced significant friction with the royal establishment throughout her marriage, a dynamic explored extensively in Andrew Morton's Diana, Her True Story, and later reflected upon in the Netflix series The Crown, which, while dramatized, has been credited with reigniting public interest in the emotional undercurrents of royal family life. Meghan Markle's own experiences, as detailed in her and Prince Harry's interview with Oprah Winfrey in 2021, further illustrated how difficult it can be for those marrying into family to navigate its unspoken rules and generational hierarchies. Against this backdrop, it becomes clearer why any hint of friction involving Carole Middleton and Camilla will be seized upon so eagerly by content creators seeking engagement, even in the absence of confirmed detail. What can be said with confidence is that the modern royal family, more than perhaps any previous generation, has had to contend with an unprecedented level of public scrutiny amplified by social media, YouTube commentary channels, and a 24-hour news cycle hungry for content. Historian and royal biographer Robert Lacey has written about how the institution has struggled to adapt its centuries-old traditions of discretion to an era where every glance and gesture is analyzed frame by frame online. This environment creates fertile ground for speculative narratives to flourish, particularly those framed around female relationships within the family, which have long been a source of public fascination, from the reported tensions between Diana and the Queen Mother to persistent tabloid narratives about Kate and Meghan during the early years of Meghan's marriage to Harry. Ultimately, the responsible approach to a title as provocative as this one is not to deny that tensions could theoretically exist within any large, blended family navigating public life under extraordinary pressure, but to be honest about what has actually been confirmed versus what has been constructed for clicks. No credible source has documented a specific incident in which Camilla bullied Princess Charlotte, nor one in which Carole Middleton publicly confronted her over it. What is documented is a family history marked by genuine complexity, an outsider mother who helped raise a future queen consort, a once vilified royal wife who fought her way to public acceptance, and children growing up under a level of scrutiny few families can imagine enduring. Perhaps the real story here isn't the sensational one implied by the title, but the quieter, more human one beneath it. The story of ordinary family dynamics playing out under the most extraordinary circumstances imaginable, watched by millions who will likely never know the full truth. And reminded once again that the space between public curiosity and private reality is where so much of the modern royal narrative now lies.